We've been talking about these different kind of partnerships we've seen, but Hyundai definitely being the standalone here, given the size of its conglomerate and trying to get into opening up the tech industry into the sector. How big of an opportunity do you see this? And do you really see other car makers following suit?
I think it's already on. What's happening is the car, which was earlier a mechanical device, and most of the car makers used to fine-tune the engine, improve the noise and vibration characteristics, have now realized that there is a big convergence that's happening between car and the cell phone. And most of the car makers do not really understand how cell phones work, do not really understand how the product development should happen. And therefore, every single car maker would need a so-called technology company to partner with to get into this arena of autonomous cars and connected cars.
Is there a concern, though, Vivek, that these Western tech companies could actually take over some of these more established automakers that we see in the industry as these kind of hardware suppliers? I mean, in the age of these self-driving cars, could actually be kind of a disruption?
Self-driving car definitely is a big disruption. And, this is something which is still an open game. It is very hard to imagine that the technology companies would take over the car companies because their entire structure is different, their profit making is different, their revenue model is different, whereas the car companies operate quite differently. But the convergence would definitely make the technology companies stronger, and they will have more say into this big mobility market, which currently which till recently was close to them.
Vivek, I'm curious, particularly in Asia, I mean, is there really that much demand for all this technology in cars?
Autonomous cars, or cars in particular, is a very global industry, and it does take time for features to travel from one part of the world to another part of the world. But if you see, all cars are global, and therefore I won't really like to imagine that Asia doesn't need technology or Western world needs technology. What tends to happen is innovation tends to come into premium segment first and then percolate down into the mass market as it becomes more affordable. So Asia will definitely need technology. The needs for technology might be a bit different, but eventually all the cars would have similar technology in few years to come.
But being that a lot of technology, and not the only technology, but a lot is being developed in Silicon Valley, does that really though put the Asian automakers at a disadvantage because they don't have those relationships? They're just beginning to have those relationships.
Yeah, I would say because of the proximity, that it does make a bit of a difference. But as I said, it's a global world, and Toyota has equal access to Silicon Valley as compared to Ford. So I won't say they are behind because of the proximity or location. Of course, they might be behind in terms of thinking or their processing of information. That might be the case, but I don't think proximity is such a big deal.